It's no secret that we are to expect a third generation Dacia Duster next year. And while our friends in Romania have been somewhat tight-lipped, in this video we're going to run through what we already know, speculate on what we think might happen, which will probably then have somebody at Dacia either laughing their head off at how wrong I am, or panicking on how I got hold of such information. The original Duster was introduced back in 2017, and alongside with the Mark 1, Dacia have shifted over 2 million of them. So with the car now 7 years old, it was about time we were due a new one. So what do we know so far? Well, it's pretty well documented that the current car's B0 Plus platform is out, and in its place we will have the CMF-B platform, which currently underpins all of the other Dacia models such as the Sandero, Stepway, and Jogger, as well as Renault models Clio, Arcana and Captur. In terms of powertrains, we're pretty confident that electric is off the cards. Dacia have said many times in the past that they'll only consider the switch to electric at the right possible moment when they know the costs to be at their most reasonable. That's not to say you won't be able to get an electric Dacia, as we know the Spring is going to be coming to the UK very shortly. We also expect the same for plug-in hybrid, but that's more factors to do with the fact that the market has kind of fallen out of love with BEV vehicles, as opposed to the demands and needs of a Dacia customer. We can be pretty confident that the 1 litre 3-cylinder petrol engine that is currently offered in the current car and the rest of the Dacia range will be carried over with a manual gearbox into the new model. However, as you move up the range, that's when things start to get a little bit more murky. Now, logic would dictate that the 1.6 litre E-Tech hybrid powertrain that is currently fitted to the Jogger will be making an appearance in the Duster as well. However, there are also reports of a 200 horsepower variant, such as the one seen in Autocar, which would imply that the car will get the E-Tech powertrain using a 1.2 litre petrol engine mated to an electric motor that comes from the Ostra. Now, regardless of which variant of hybrid powertrain that Dacia would choose to use, all of those versions are used in front-wheel drive applications. And while that will be responsible for the lion's share of the business the Duster will do, it's fair to say that there is still a large number of people who will be seeking a four-wheel drive option. Currently, that is taken care of thanks to a 1.5 litre DCI diesel engine. And with diesel now being considered the Antichrist in the UK and European markets, we're very much expecting that to be dropped and replaced with a petrol equivalent. Possibly use of the 1.3 litre petrol engine, but details of that are very limited at the moment, so it is anybody's guess. However, the rumours of a full electric model refuse to go away. The theory being that the CMF-B platform of which the Duster will be built is very similar to that of the CMF-B EV platform that will underpin the new Renault 4 and 5, as well as the Alpine A290 Beta. The theory being that the A290 Beta uses a four-wheel drive system by having electric motors on both axles, and that they would take that system and adapt it for use on the Duster. But given Renault Group's trend for offering bespoke electric products alongside their petrol or diesel equivalents, we're somewhat sceptical that this one will come to fruition. But we'll see. In terms of what the car will actually look like, we're expecting a big departure from the old one. With the Mark II variant looking very similar to that of the Mark I, for the Mark III, we're expecting it to take its design inspiration from the Bigster concept revealed as part of the Renaulution plan a few years ago. It will also make the Duster the first full production model to come under this new branding that was introduced back in 2021. The off-road styling is set to remain, and if anything, it's going to be ramped up following on from Denis Leveau's comments only this week, where he specified that he sees Dacia as a key rival for Jeep. Taking a look at the first spy shots of the car, we're starting to get an indication of what to expect. The headlights are set to be slimmer and more akin to what we see on the Sandero and Jogger. The doors are looking set to raid the Renault's parts bin by being very similar to what we have with the likes of the Captur and the Clio at the front, and they'll also have hidden door handles in the rear. And then round the back, we're going to have rear Y-shaped lights, much like they are on the Bigster concept. Inside is more of a challenge because there haven't really been any leaks thus far. All we've got to go on is what currently exists in the current Dacia range. So with that in mind, we're expecting to see the 8-inch media nav system be carried over into the new model, which will have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but we expect lower models to be using the smartphone cradle that you see, the likes of the Sandero, for the more entry-level trims. Otherwise, we're expecting to see much of the same switchgear and buttons as you get in the current Sandero and Jogger, but we're welcome to be proven wrong there. What we do know is that Google's Android automotive system will not be coming to Dacia anytime soon. The theory being is that the Google license required to use such a system wouldn't be perceived as good value to a Dacia customer who really wants only the essentials offered in their infotainment system. So when are we likely to see this car? Well, we're anticipating an unveiling of the car sometime around October this year, and then the car to subsequently go on sale in Europe sometime in the summer of next year, with the UK expecting to get the car sometime in the autumn-ish. We need a bit more time to engineer the steering wheel onto the correct side. So that's what we think is going to happen. But what do you think? Why don't you sound off in the comments below? And maybe also tell us what you'd like to see from the all-new Dacia Duster. Now, of course, if you want to see how accurate we were with our predictions or how woefully wrong we were, then make sure you click subscribe and click the bell icon so you'll be able to see our special report of the actual launch of the car that we're anticipating later this year. You can also keep up with us on social media, where you can find us on Facebook, Instagram and Threads at SMC Dacia. We're also on LinkedIn, TikTok and X at SMC Motor Group. You can also check out our website for all the latest deals and offers, as well as information about where you can buy one of our cars from our dealerships in Weybridge and Aldershot, and that is at smcdacia.co.uk. Otherwise, until then, my name's Max, this is SMC Motor Group, and I'll see you on the next one.